The headlines report screams of terror as there are further news stories of the XL bully type breed dog carrying out further attacks on people, on children, and indeed on other animals. And you might have asked the question as to why they're not already banned, now that there's renewed call for them to be banned, if they resemble the Pitbull Terrier so very closely, which you may be aware is one of the types of breed of dog that is already banned in the United Kingdom under the Dangerous Dogs Act. So in this video, I'm going to go through what these banned breeds are, why it is so difficult to assess, and why it's important to get it right, and indeed what it would mean for a dog to be dangerously out of control, because that applies to all dogs, not just those that are of a type that are banned in the United Kingdom. So any type of dog can be out of control. But first of all, if you're new to me, I'm Daniel Shensmith, a barrister of England and Wales, and I enjoy to help you to understand law, so please do hit that like button and subscribe if you find this video useful. So what is an XL bully type dog? Well, it looks very much like a Pitbull Terrier. In fact, it comes under the American Bully type of dog, which indeed itself is a variation of the American Pitbull Terrier. And of course, the XL in that name, as it suggests, refers to the size of the breed. So these are the very large variant of this type of dog. Extremely muscular, with a short coat, but because it's not specifically a Pitbull Terrier type of dog, it is not strictly banned outright in the United Kingdom. Now, there are indeed 4 breeds of dogs which are banned for ownership and for breeding in the United Kingdom. These include, of course, the Pitbull Terrier, the Japanese Tosa, the Doggo Argentino, which is apparently quite rare to find in the UK, but it is found on occasion. In fact, one Sky News extensive report found one owner who'd imported a Doggo Argentino and then bragging about it on Instagram, which is why it was confirmed that it was indeed that type, and he then faced the penalties. And finally, the Fila Brasileiro. So whilst I'm no dog expert, those are the 4 types of dogs that the actual dog experts will come in to assess whether a dog suspected of being one of these breeds is in fact one of those, and if so, it is usually going to be destroyed. Now, the XL Bully itself is not one of these explicitly banned breeds, but does share a lot of similarities with the Pitbull Terrier, which is why, firstly, it leads to a lot of confusion, and secondly, that there's now renewed call to add this to the list of banned breeds because of the number of attacks just recently and over recent years. Now, first of all, if the dog is one of these banned breeds, then it is illegal to sell them, it's illegal to abandon them, give them away, or to continue to breed them, in addition to the ownership itself. And this applies regardless of whether there's been any complaints about the dog or whether the dog has been acting dangerously or not. Of course, if someone has a dog taken away for assessment, but it's proved that it is not a banned type, then the court will usually order that the dog is returned to you. And in very narrow cases, the court might exempt a dog even if it's banned if the court doesn't think that it is a danger to the public, and in that rare scenario you might be allowed to keep it. But if found guilty of owning a banned breed of dog, you could be looking at an unlimited fine and up to 6 months in prison. Now, importantly, as I mentioned, if a dog is dangerously out of control, this is under section 3 of the Dangerous Dogs Act 1991. This applies to any dog of any breed if it is dangerously out of control in any place, including all private property. And whilst this begins as a summary-only offence, this will become an aggravated offence, triable either way, meaning it can go to the Crown Court if the dog goes on to injure any person or an assistance dog whilst it is dangerously out of control. But it's the definition of being dangerously out of control that lots of people have a little bit of difficulty with, because a dog is regarded to be dangerously out of control on any occasion where there are grounds for reasonable apprehension that it will injure a person or an assistance dog. And this applies regardless of whether the dog actually goes on to injure the person or the assistance dog. That is section 10, subsection 3 of the 1991 Act. Importantly, however, because lots of people will ask this question, is if a dog is putting someone in fear of harm in your own house to protect your own house and you within it, section 3(1)(a) of the 1991 Act, a person is not guilty of this offence of a dog being dangerously out of control with respect to a trespasser who is in or entering the home, whether or not the owner is present. But an important distinction here was with a postman that was not a trespasser who had his hand bitten because he was pushing mail through the letterbox. The owner knew that the dog was doing this and trying to bite the fingers, and therefore was deemed to be dangerously out of control. So I hope that's a useful overview of the offences and why the XL is not already banned, but there are, as I say, calls to add this to the list of banned breeds. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Maybe we have some dog experts watching that can chip in with your thoughts and comments. And in the meantime, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.